Today looks like a safe football slot, but that is usually when people make mistakes. And of course, today Morocco will be taking on Tanzania. Paris Saint-Germain will be taking also on Paris FC, and Marseille would also be taking on Nantes. So Real Madrid versus Real Betis also is all available. So all look straight, but of course each game has its own tricky and risky that you need to know before actually backing it up. So let's break it down, of course, quickly and smartly. I mean, we are starting with Morocco versus Tanzania. You find that, of course, Morocco and Tanzania, they've ever met, and of course in the last 4 games, of course, Morocco won 4 and made 1 draw. Tanzania, of course, lost their last 4 games. Of course, they lost in the last 5 matches, they lost 4 and they drew 1. So they failed to register any win, of course, in their last 5 matches. So let's look at head to head. These 2 teams they've ever met, and of course Tanzania played that is World Cup qualifier and then friendly, and of course they failed actually to score any single goal against Morocco in the last 4 meetings. So in this case, we're backing Morocco up to actually score, and for people who always want to have it over also 1.5 is safe for you. We want to play safe, so you can choose to give it straight win or over 1.5 is also available for this case. So Paris Saint-Germain versus Paris FC. Yeah, so you look at the positions in French Ligue 1. Of course, PSG is sitting in the 2nd position and Paris FC is sitting in the 14th position. So in their last game, of course, in 2022, Paris Saint-Germain bet Paris FC 2-1. So in this game, we are looking at it's going to be an easy one, because if you're to look at Paris FC, in their last 5 games, they failed to register any win at all, because they lost actually 3 and drew 2. And PSG, of course, feeling a pressure from Lens, there's a gap between the 1st position and the 2nd one. So today would be, if they manage to lose again, of course, there would be a big gap between these 2 teams. So Paris also wants to close the gap between Lens and them. So in this game, we're going to give Paris Saint-Germain to take all the 3 points, and also a safer one you can play also over 1.5. It's also still available for you. You can take that, because Paris FC Kent is sitting in the 14th positions and PSG is sitting in the 2nd position. The 3rd one in this ticket, because I give 3 in per group. Yes, Marseille versus Olympiacos, Marseille versus Nantes. So this is also in French League. Of course, you find that in the last, of course, 10 meeting, Marseille has beaten Nantes 8 and only 2 draws, and Nantes has never beaten, of course, Marseille in the last 10 meetings. That is 8-8. But of course, let's look at the last 5 games. Marseille, of course, won 3, lost 1 and drew 1, and Nantes actually lost 3 and drew 2. So they also failed to register any win in the last 5 games. Of course, they failed to register any win there, and currently they sit in the 17th position and Marseille sits in the 3rd position. So in this ticket, of course, we got these 3 teams: Morocco versus Tanzania, PSG versus Paris FC, and Marseille versus Nantes. Put them in one ticket. Safe. VIP. Then the second one is Real Madrid, second ticket, Real Madrid taking on Real Betis. And of course, we know for this game that it's a tough one. It's like a 4th position versus the 2nd position in this game. So it's going to be a tricky one. Remember, Barcelona is leading in the Spanish league, of course, the La Liga, sitting on top. And of course, Real Atletico Madrid is also there, and Real Betis, and then now Real Madrid. So it's going to be a tricky one. Let's look at, of course, the last 4 matches that these 2 teams met. Of course, Real Madrid only managed to win 1. And Real Betis also won 1. So there are 2 draws. So if you're going for this game for any investor, be very careful. There are 2 options you can play here to be safe. 1, you can take that both sides can score, because in their last meeting you see that all of them struggled to score. Then 2, you can guard actually also Real Madrid, because Real Madrid is also feeling that pressure because they lost last time. So in the last of us 5 games, we find that they will only manage to win 3. They won 3, they lost 2, and Real Madrid also won 3, draw 1, and lost 1. So it's a tricky one, and you know Real Madrid being a stubborn team. So play safely there. You can choose to go with over 1.5 or both teams to score. Yes, so if you want to be safe in this game, then the second ticket is Clara versus FC Porto. Now, this is, you always say in Portugal Premier, it's FC Porto topping the table. They are within the last 5 games. Of course, they also won all, and Clara sits in the 13th positions. Of course, they won 2, they lost 2, and they made 1 draw. So it's a tricky one, but of course, in the last head-to-head, let's look at head-to-head, the last 10 meeting. Of course, only Clara bet FC Porto once, 2 draws, and FC Porto managed to win 7. So 7 games they met. Of course, you find that they won that all, and Clara managed only to win 1 and 2 draws, and that one would be a safer one for them. So play safely. This one, a straight win. Just for FC Porto, you can go with a straight win for FC Porto. Then the last game of the day, of course, in this ticket is Cyrus at Division 1. AEK Larnaca versus Anorthosis. That is in Cyrus. Someone may ask, where is this game found? You just type the name of the team, you'll get it. Always available. So because there are some of course betting apps that you may not find that team. Yes, so you need to just Google and check what is that name of that team. So AEK Larnaca versus Anorthosis. Of course, you find that AEK Larnaca sits in the 3rd position, and of course Anorthosis sits in the 11th position. And in the last 5 games, of course, they drew 3 and they made 2 win, and also they lost. Anorthosis, of course, draw 2, won 2, and lost 1. So in the last 10 meeting, of course, the AEK won 5 and made only 5 draws. So Anorthosis has never beaten also AEK. So it's very safe here to guard the home team AEK. Yes, in this game. So this is the second ticket that you need to guard. We say winners never quit, and please don't always actually worry. Some people can choose to put all of them, but it's your choice. You're free to do whatever you can, but of course I've given you a safe how to play. And don't mind always of the big odds. Big odds are always very risky because you have to pile many teams, and of course if you put many teams, there's a high chance that you may even get 7 of them and then 1 fail. So always do it responsibly, yes, to be safe. Winners never quit. Always I say that we continue doing that. And of course others have dropped off also on TikTok. You're free to go and add on, yes, because I don't repeat them. YouTube is different, and of TikTok is also available.